We are going to play some music for y'all today. Before we jump into our set, we usually like to take a few minutes to kind of just ground the energy and take a minute to breathe. Life moves very fast, and it's important to take those moments to just breathe. And as we do that, we share a mantra that we aim to live by.
Seeds for the life we long to live. We remain open and willing to flow with life's changes as we understand those unseen curves in the road come about more often than not. So we take time to just breathe. Today we see this life with enthusiasm and curiosity. We know that setting goals for our future gives us direction in the present. And the present is truly a gift. We know that the mind is brilliant, the body is healthy, the spirit is tranquil. Just breathe. Is an entryway to inner calm and peace. We are all just works in progress, and that's a beautiful thing. Our first song is Magic. We believe that this life is full of magic. Just be open and willing to accept it.
Lucid.
Magic. The pen holding / freedom fighting, hoping to enlighten a spark of flame here. Listen close as we approach the new horizons and chalk it up. See, experimental music is what we bump and bump loud, so it vibrates your soul. There's rhythm when I stroll, poetical speech, abnormal rap song. Y'all inhale light and fly high off the vibe, yet and still we grounded. The 2-1 pounded, Philadelphia lounging. You know the road we stroll, we kick stones as we roll, and paint poems like graph on city walls. Yes, we create for a cause, and our sound, it was born in the basement from scratch. Voice and sound clash, splatter like paint on the canvas. Capture the action happen. Vibrant madness, heart filled with passion. This art is where the magic happens. This art is where the magic happens. This art sagging, thinking I knew it all. Hand hustle and keep a watch for the nan yelling, brother jailing, pops lit up. Had me zoning out at night, not believing in luck. Yeah, I was searching for something, I ain't know what. I just knew I wasn't trying to be hometown stuck. Break out, move fast, escape quick. I laced up my A6 and kept the plans basic. Think too hard, you fail before you start. So I went with my God given, follow the vision. Words over rhythm, keep it live for the listeners. Every day writing till my pen went inkless. Had to hustle hard, taking many jobs, knowing down the road a pot of gold I would come upon. Had to hustle hard, taking many jobs, knowing down the road a pot of gold I would come upon. This art is where the magic happens. This art is where the magic happens. This art is where the magic happens. Alone in the zone, we create these songs. Alone in the zone, we create these poems.
Cool. So our next song is Community,
With a focus on the word unity. Unity. People, hold your heads high, soar like an eagle. Prosper, the mantra, opposite of evil. Plant the seed now, sit back and watch the tree grow. Unity. Let the mind be free. True equality. Unity. Let the mind be free.
Let's do New Days. This next song is New Days, and it's It's really just being grateful and thankful for each new day we see. We know tomorrow's not promised for any of us. So with that in mind, we take full advantage of every new morning, every new opportunity. We let go of the past, things that no longer serve us, and focus on what's in front of us. New days. Staring out the window. Days move fast, but I'm taking it in slow. You notice these just remain calm. Surrounding me's the storm, but it don't last long. I know the piercing sun soon to brighten any grim look of feeling it might have been. Yeah, it's all love inside of the temple. When you enter, look up, keep a positive mental. We breed thoughts and ideas so nice. Uniting, not dividing, so we grow jaw tight, yeah. I reminisce of all the beauty I've known. As a youngin', mama showed me different ways to go. In my left ear, yeah, been right out the other. But some years later, I've rediscovered, uncovered those precious gems. Thank you, Mom, you knew it'd sink in. It just took some time. And now we move steady with this heart of gold. And I'm paying what I've gained so the youth can grow. Spiritually, c'est la vie. Through these sounds and words, we found our grounds of peace, firmly planted. Outstanding, joy to say the least. Now the comet's landing, illuminating space, sharing rays of light. We travel so far with the pure divine. It comes unscheduled, but always on time. And that's real.
Hello to the new days. Goodbye to the old lies. I'm just at a love pace. Here to give it away, give it away, give it.
New days. So right now we're gonna travel a little bit and take a journey. We invite you to come on a journey with us. We're gonna go back through space and time to when we first started doing music. This is Journey. Peace, y'all. Welcome to this art exhibit. Now slide into my sneakers and walk to the rhythm. The boombox blast, hat was to the back. A naughty head youth, I had my mind on stacks. Stacks and stacks, I wanted that cash. How I'm gonna get it? Of course through my raps, huh? Those was my thoughts growing up and most laughed. But I was dead serious, my mind moved fast. Then the pen follow, songs get sketched out. Catch me on the stoop, my pen and dreads out. Loose with the verbs on curbs where herbs serve. Mics I rock nice, I'm the same with dice. Hello, it's just me again, flowing free again. Voice and beat blend a comfortable medium.
Speeding through this realm, overwhelmed by nothing. Adjusting my thoughts to heal the suffering. Now I'm on some new-ish. Cool as new kick, schooled by the old heads. Ropes was learned quick. I mean, really though, hear me on the stereo. Music, that's all I ever known. Smoke rarely blown, I ain't hit that reefer. But to each his own, if you smoke, that's peace, y'all. Long as you groove, let the music reach ya. My loose leaf is filled and it spills through speakers. Mostly consumed by those that's thrill seekers. Learn from the best, KRS my teacher. Good with the masses, any hood can blast this. Trailer park, city blocks, or in mansions. Universal language, it speaks gigantic. Shout to the homie Flav, I'm cold lamping. Shatter any doubt, it's just a sample. As the show goes on, you'll see we're a handful. Come on a journey with me through the streets of a place called reality. Yeah, come on a journey with me through the streets of a place called reality. Yeah, come on a journey with me through the streets of a place called reality. Yeah, come on a journey with me through the streets of a place called reality. Come on a journey with me through the streets of a place called reality. Yeah, come on a journey with me through the streets of a place called reality. Yeah, come on a journey with me through the streets of a place called reality. Come on a journey with me through the streets of a place called reality. That is Christina Elise on the harp, y'all. Come on a journey with me through the streets of a place called reality. Yeah, come on a journey with me through the streets of a place called reality. Come on a journey with me through the streets of a place called reality. Yeah, journey with me through the streets of a place called reality.
Hey folks, welcome back to another episode of the Sunday Sessions Project. Thank you for joining us once again. Today we have Kuf Knotz and Christine Elise with us. We're so excited. Just want to say, hey guys, how's it going? Thanks for coming down. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, we're happy to be here. It's been a long time in the making.
Yeah, there has been a little anticipation before COVID, and then COVID happened and kind of messed everybody's plans up and smacked a lot of things. But we're so excited that you guys got to make it down today.
Yes.
We're happy to be here.
And so I have to say, first question. How'd the harp come in with hip hop? I love it. It was brilliant. It was genius, but we saw it. We fell in love with it, but it's not your typical. So how did, you being a harpist kind of get together within the whole hip hop? Tell us a little bit about that first.
All right. So I saw Kuf perform in Philly, and I just was in awe of his performance, the message, the music, and I thought if I ever am a performer, I want to be in something like that. But I was working full-time as a music therapist at the time. I never went up to him after that show. I never looked it up, anything. But 2 months later, I randomly saw him at Whole Foods. And I just went right up to him and was like, hey, I loved your performance. If you ever need a harpist, let me know. And he was like, a harpist? Like, how's that going to work?
Sure. Yeah. And I was interested though. I'm really curious what that would sound like.
Good.
So I was working on some music and I sent it to Christine and she like improv'd over it and sent it back. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds amazing. And so I invited her to sit in with my other band for a show. I literally called her 4 or 5 hours before the show and was like, hey, can you come play? And she did. And then we've just been playing together ever since.
Very cool. Very cool. So now I've heard you on a couple other different things. You know, I know you guys have gone back and forth. You had, I read the Phillies championship song there. Tell me a little bit about that first.
So
How'd that happen?
That was pretty random because I'm not, admittedly, I'm not a huge baseball fan.
Yeah.
It just was one of those things. There's an artist named G Love. He's from Philadelphia. And he was living in Boston at the time, and we were working on a song for my album. He was doing this, like a verse. And while I was there, he got a call to do a song for the Phillies. Okay. It was him and another artist, Don McCloskey, who's actually from Bucks County, actually.
Nice.
And so since he was working on it in the studio, he asked me to do a verse. And I was like, all right. I did a verse. I looked up all the baseball facts, like who was who, because I didn't know any of the members on the team at the time. So I looked that up, and then I just based my verse off of that. And I cut the verse, and I'm like, if you like it, I'll come back and do it again. And the next day, it was already out. Like they put it out,
Nice.
And it became. It ended up becoming the song that they used at. They played it before every game of the championship series in the stadium, and it was like the hype up song. Yeah, so it was random but cool.
Very cool. I have to admit, G Love, I have my own little story with him.
Yep.
So it's probably about like 15 years ago now, but there was a company that was trying to make a pilot episode for a cooking show with G Love.
Right. Oh, yeah?
And so it was, I forget the name of it, it was Hot Cooking, yeah. And so if you heard the song, like the Hot Cooking,
Yeah.
he made that for this sizzle reel put together. And so, yeah, I cut it together and did all this, spent hours and hours. Didn't hear anything again. A year later, I hear the song come out, and it's just flashback. Yeah. But no, it was cool. So I have my own G Love story. But so, did you start out with just Kuf doing that, and everybody else picked up? Because I've heard you on some of the other, local Philly hip hop and done some other things. How did everybody else kind of go? Oh wow, that's great. The harp, like, it's obviously something that. Give me a little bit of background about that.
Yeah, so after that show that I played, I started sitting in a little bit more and more, and I wasn't singing at that time. And Kuf kept inviting me back. He said, well, we're really getting good, feedback. Keep coming back. So then I had like a crossroad at the end of the summer of in 2018. To decide, like, all right, are we going to keep going on the road and tour fully and just take it to the next step of putting all this energy into it? And we just did. We kept booking, and for 2 years straight, we just went across the country playing pretty much every show that we could, and anywhere, any place, just to get out there and that allowed us to kind of figure out where we wanted to go and what we wanted to do. But
and I think playing so much at first in the Philly area, a lot of people who were in the hip hop that came to shows and saw us would then reach out like, "Yo, that was pretty dope. Can you come sit in with us?" And I think that's how like she got in that circle. From just playing a lot and intermingling with all the Philly hip hop artists.
Okay, nice. Now you said you weren't really singing before that, so had you sung before and it just wasn't something you added in? Because you have a very distinct voice. And so was that something you kind of found afterwards, or is it just something you did before and added in?
Yeah, so as a music therapist, every day I was singing for about 8 hours.
Okay.
But it was a different type of singing. It wasn't like performing Find Your Own sound. It was more teacher like, or you know, like if you pick up the phone and you have a phone voice, like it was a
Gotcha.
different kind of projection. It wasn't really my own voice. And I remember we were in a practice and I made a suggestion like, oh, maybe let's sing this little part. And then a couple weeks later, Kuf was like, hey, can you actually sing? And maybe maybe you should do that. And it kind of all organically, like every step of this process was just like kind of jump and figure it out. And we're still at that for like, you know, we're still, even though we're building, we're still at that point of just like, all right, what's next? Okay.
That's being an artist, though, right? I mean, you're never done. You never stop. Work of art is never finished. So
yeah.
Very true.
So now I know you guys, much like, you know, anyone else with a superpower, also use your powers for good. Tell me a little bit about the Higher Ground Foundation. Like, what are you guys doing? Give us the background. That's awesome.
So that was the brainchild of Christine. As she said, she was involved with doing music therapy for that was her career, and so when she transferred into this, she really wanted to keep that as well and figure out a way to integrate them. And yeah, I'll let you tell.
Yeah, so that became a thing, and in addition to performing, we take our music and create interventions or activities based on our songs. So we're able to bring this not even into the bar scene or the Philly scene, but just into schools, into libraries, into yoga sessions, and figure out how to kind of bring programming with our music in all the community areas.
So, you know, for other people who might not have heard or read about it, you know, give me kind of an idea of a background. Like, do people call you guys up and say, hey, this is what we want to do? Do you guys reach out to other people? How do you develop the programs? How do you guys kind of come up with the different ways to help the community? And
I think it's all across the board. Like, there are specific things that Christine has created that in certain places will go and this is the program and this is what we'll do. Other times, sometimes it's just like going in there and hearing what the people want the most, like what feels good for them to do, and then we'll work with that. But like I said, Christine has a background in all that, so she usually takes the lead on that, and then I just get in where I fit in. It's like whatever's going on, and I feel like I can add to that. Because there'll be some times where we'll go to places and some of the people will relate very much to Christine and others will relate very much to me. So it's just a balance. And
And I think in terms of reaching out, a lot of the times people just say, hey, we want to bring you. What does that look like? So it's very also like, well, what do you need? You know, and then we usually craft everything specific to where we're going and what we're doing.
Very cool. So now you have the background of music therapy. So what was it like for you to kind of, as you guys are developing this, go into that from being the outsider and starting to learn?
Definitely. It was cool. Because like, so before that, I always had a knack or like wanted to be involved with community stuff. So I would do fundraisers and stuff in the community that. But to actually take that next step was really cool. It was definitely uncomfortable. Like the first handful of times we did stuff like in a hospital or something like that, I definitely had to adjust and it was uncomfortable, but it's been a beautiful thing. Like, I love it.
Very nice. And I guess much like anything you know you're doing right, it's scary at first. And if you're a little scared because it's something different, you know you're doing something right in a way.
For sure.
Very cool. So what do you guys got coming up? What's next on the horizons? Tell me a little bit.
So we have a new album coming out called Hypnagogia.
Okay.
And we're going to tour in support of that. We're doing a month a month long in Alaska for June.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then we have a week at the end of May in Canada, in Montreal, and then
Yeah, and then as the summer goes, we'll keep going. Go also out west, Chicago, and Michigan, Wisconsin.
yeah. So we're just going to be on the road.
Just staying in the cold areas because it's hot. Stay away from all that humidity. Yeah. That's awesome. No, I'm glad to hear things are going really well there. Yeah. So, for people who want to reach out to you guys and kind of see what's going on, how can they find you guys? How can they get in touch, with the Higher Ground music and everything else?
Yeah, so the main hub where everything is at kufknotz.com.
Okay.
And then from there, you can get to Christine's Instagram, my Instagram, our Facebook page. Everything's out of that hub there. Yeah.
Very cool. Mm-hmm. So is there anything I forgot to ask about or bring up that you guys would like to talk about and, put out there and different things? So
I think you covered everything.
Yeah, we're just happy that you had us here and in this beautiful space. Look at all these plants. It's great.
I have to give Heather full credit. She heard you guys were coming down. She's like, oh, no, we're doing something that's just two of them. It's going to be a nice, small, intimate setting.
Great.
And so, yeah.
It's very zen.
Yes.
No, we're excited that we finally got to have you guys down. The world has pushed things in different ways, and it finally all came together. And we want to thank you guys for coming down to be a part of the Sunday Sessions project here. So, all right. Well, folks, thank you guys very much for tuning in. We greatly appreciate it. Check us out wherever you find your video and audio, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, any social. Look us up on the web. You can find us. For everybody here at the Sunday Sessions Project, we want to thank Kuf and Christine. And we want to thank you guys for tuning in. And we'll see you soon.
Cool. So our last song is City Lights. Was that the last? Oh, no? Okay, cool. City Lights. We believe we all hold a powerful light inside of us. And this last song, we invite you to let your light shine.
Shine on me, be the girl you used to be.
sky. Take one moment to give thanks for life. The moon comes up and the stars fill the sky. Take one moment to give thanks for life. Give thanks for life.
That's it. I am Kuf Knotz.
And I'm Christine Elise.
Thank you for rocking.